Hi folks, this is your NWIS Planning Outlook updated on Tuesday the 27th of June. I'm going to start with a look at these rainfall charts, which are the total accumulations over 5-day time periods. This first stage through until the beginning of the 2nd of July, so through to dawn on Sunday morning, and shows the wettest conditions very much focused over Western Scotland, as we see generally westerly winds prevailing and a series of weather systems coming through. Rainfall amounts relatively high across Western Hills in England and Wales as well, not quite as wet, but some rain to come here. Smaller amounts, relatively speaking, the further east and south you go across the country. These general trends are expected to continue into the first week of July. That's 5 days through until the start of the 7th, and again it's the west and the northwest that sees the greatest amounts, but pretty wet for many places across Britain through that time, and Western Scotland the wettest of all, really making up for the deficit of rainfall that we've seen in recent weeks and months when it's been very dry. We've got the westerly winds back in charge, and that's putting the rainfall back across the common ground of Western Scotland, which is typically climatologically the wettest part of the country, and that is now back in the weather story. Looking at the model projections further on, and the trends are looking still pretty unsettled as we go through to the 12th of July, with those rainfall totals relatively large across western and northwestern parts once more. All looks as though for the time being we're dominated by Atlantic unsettled weather patterns. It looks as though the UK as a whole is heading for the warmest June on record, but as we go into the start of July, temperatures are likely to be relatively cool. This is the first 5 days of the month in relation to the long-term seasonal averages, and you can see the bluer colours on the map across the British Isles suggesting that we're going to be a bit cooler than average across the land. Notice of interest the warmer than average temperatures over the sea. Sea surface temperatures are very warm around the British Isles at the moment, so that may have some impact on precipitation amounts, warmer sea waters tending to boost the higher rainfall amounts, especially from showers and potential thunderstorms that may well exist. So cool air temperatures, but the moisture in the atmosphere could well give some rather heavy amounts of rain. Digging into some detail, looking at the synoptic charts through the rest of this week, and Wednesday's situation is that we have a wriggling, waving weather front just moving its way across the country, gradually east and southeastwards. Now, this wave feature has just slowed down the eastward progress of that front, even compared to what some models had a day or so ago. So it's a bit slower to get its way eastwards across England and Wales. It'll have some influence across Scotland for a time, at least through the morning into the middle of the day, as a belt of rain just passes eastwards, clearing across the west and northwest highlands to some brighter spells, rising cloud bases and a few showers. England and Wales are still broadly under the more humid air mass, with some drizzle and some rain becoming more persistent as that front comes on, and that pushing through as we go into the afternoon. Some gusty winds around the front. Temperatures will tend to fall from the west as the day is going on. Now that front is away toward the southeast of England by Thursday, and for many mountain areas it's a half-decent day at least, with some bright spells. 1 or 2 showers still in the forecast though, these across Scotland just drifting from west to east during the day. Quite breezy in the northwest of the country as well, gusty winds and feeling rather cool across the higher mountains as west-southwesterlies. West or northwesterlies through England and Wales are not quite as strong. Some sunshine around and cloud bases at times breaking above the higher tops. Friday looks a poorer day as the next set of weather fronts comes through, and again uncertainty with the exact progress of this in terms of how far north or south the heavier and more persistent rain is going to be, but most western mountains are expected to be fairly wet with low cloud for a good part of the day. Eastern areas may see some brighter spells, but fairly cloudy, maybe just getting away with comparatively drier conditions. Depending on the north and south position of this, it will kind of dictate where the strongest of the winds are going to be. It looks as though England, Wales and southern Scotland, perhaps the windiest of all, northern areas in the Highlands maybe just escaping with comparatively lighter winds, but just watch your forecast detail at this stage. That system will have pulled its way eastwards to leave us with a general westerly wind as we go into the weekend, and that will be rather brisk and maybe even gusting up towards gale force at times across some of the highest mountains, and it will feel distinctly chilly through this weekend across the higher tops. Temperatures, for example, on the top of Ben Nevis may be only 2 or 3 degrees Celsius, and the showers that come through maybe just have a chance of something of sleet on the very highest top, but negligible in terms of that impact. But it will be a rather cold feeling day. If you're exposed to the wind, that wind chill factor is going to feel sub-zero. It could even feel like -5 or -8 across the very highest Scottish mountains. So do be prepared for that chilly feel. Windy across all regions then, showers most frequent in the west, but will track eastwards throughout the course of the day, but they will tend to move through quickly on that wind. It will stay on the cool side through Sunday again. Temperatures in the lower end of single figures across the very highest Scottish tops, maybe more in the way of showers across western Scotland. If this front is just around, it could organise showers into something a bit more persistent across western Scotland. Broadly showery through western hills of England and Wales, brighter with some drier conditions across more eastern hills during the day, but windy again across the high tops, so do factor in that chill factor. Not exactly brilliant summer weather, it must be said, for the first weekend of July, and next week is just continuing that theme. This is the pressure pattern averaged out over 7 days, and the blue colours indicate that we'd like to see lower than average pressure. So generally, low pressure would be in charge over the country, and with that, we'll see frequent rainfall and showers in the forecast. Those may be thundery at times, other times it may just be some steadier rain, but either way, it looks a rather unsettled week. Temperatures on the cool side, blustery winds at times, that may vary from day to day depending on the position of the low, but overall it does look to be an unsettled week ahead. That story just eases a bit as we go further forwards. We lose the lower than average pressure. If anything, low pressure is further out over the Atlantic. Higher pressure trying to get in to the north of us. If you remember last week, we were looking at that possibility for higher pressure starting to build further toward the north. Tentatively at this stage now in terms of how we're looking for that, but the idea of an improving story as we go toward the middle of July does look believable. Those modelled trends do continue as we head beyond mid-month. High pressure built back toward the north with suppressed low pressure back away toward the Atlantic. So just building that gradual stage-by-stage process into better conditions somewhat further toward the middle of the month. But the first week or 10 days of July do look as though we're under a much more unsettled face of the British weather pattern. So thermals and the waterproofs at the ready for this weekend. Stay up to date with us, of course, with all your local forecasts on our website. For today, that is your planning outlook. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.